broadcasting legend in his own mind. He's known to be prickly and very opinionated. It's time to get in your host, Coach Muddle.
All right. Happy Monday, everyone. Fun. Back to the grind, and lots going on from Sunday.
So, a lot of good games.
A lot of games, a lot of things going on. We'll get to covering all the games, World Series action, and just want to throw a shout out. Want to make sure everybody listen. Go over to YouTube, subscribe, ring the bell, download the podcast if you miss it on Apple, Spotify, Google, all of those funky places, and then we'll get to get into it, man. How you guys doing? Nevada Nick, Captain Jack, how are you?
I mean, I'm doing all right. I mean, one more game for the Dodgers. I mean, I'm really looking forward to talking to Captain about that because I'm sure Captain's watched the series. Man, I think Dave Roberts has really left it out there for the Rays. I mean, I think the Dodgers have outplayed them. I think Captain would obviously agree with that. But I think Roberts has made some serious mistakes in allowing them to hang around. And now you got a Game 6 where I think the Rays are the favorite in Game 6 with Snell going against Gonsolin for the Dodgers. And then you're going to win it all Game 7 with Morton pitching. So, you know, as much people love where they're at with the Dodgers because you got Buehler going, you know, man, it's still you got to win a game, you know. And I think Roberts made a huge mistake. You know, I've been saying for weeks Jansen shouldn't be the closer, and he puts them in up 1 in the 9th in a huge Game 4, and they blow the lead. And look, credit to the Rays. The Rays keep fighting, chipping. You know, you can't put them away. I'm not saying the Rays don't deserve their credit, but still, I think it was a managerial mistake by Dave Roberts.
Yeah, I get with that. And, you know, I like the way that you notice that Nick was so nice enough to, not that I would say that, you know, the Rays don't deserve their credit. You know,
they do.
I like the fact that Schuer actually said, I don't want to piss the captain off when we're talking about the Rays. So, you know, that's funny. But no, I agree that Dave Roberts has done enough in this World Series to basically lose it for the Dodgers, vice winning it. Now, Cash has done some good things as well. I like the way he has juggled his lineup and put the right people in at the right people at the right time. And when you're talking about Jansen basically blowing the game, you know, who would have thought that it would come down to a guy who was hitting less than 200, okay?
What a story.
With runners, you know, with runners in scoring position, you know, remember, 1 to tie, 2 to win. And so Jansen makes a really good pitch, and we know how the Dodgers always doing that little thing with the fingers, what is it, batting stocks or what do you call the big part of the bat?
Barrel.
You know, barrels are overrated. Well, you know what? Phillips again hitting like 197, who is a defensive replacement and basically a pinch runner because the kid's fast. Okay, muscles it out using basically the nub of the bat over into an area in right field, okay, and just gets enough out over it. And it's a matter of the center fielder, who is not their normal center fielder. I think it was like the third center fielder that night because of all the changes that Roberts made, comes up throwing without having the ball. First thing, kind of like in receiving in football, you catch the ball first, then you run. Okay, same thing goes here. You get the ball, you receive the ball, then you throw the ball. You don't make one motion. That entirely screwed it up. So again, Phillips nubs it out there with the what would be the winning hit. And again, you know, the celebration afterward, you know, the throwing area or actually the error on the catcher,
right,
with the sweep slide. So it was something that you'd never see it ever. Yeah. And it will always be remembered as a very memorable non-clinching game in the World Series.
Right, and Betts made a mistake, obviously, fielding, too. So there was 2 mistakes there, obviously, by the Dodgers. But you know what?
It wasn't Betts who fielded the ball, though. It was the other guy. That's what everybody was saying, that it was an error on Betts. Betts was not the guy who fielded the ball on the error.
It was. I thought he was the one in the, or maybe, but he did something there. I'll have to rewatch it. But speaking about Roberts too, you look at it last night, Captain. Now, last night he got away with it, but Dustin May, who everybody calls Carrot Top, obviously, but he was dealing. He was dealing. Cho comes up a lefty, man on first, 1 out. And he goes to the lefty. Cash just brings in the righty, Broussard, I think, or whoever with Broussard, who's hitting 400. It's like, so wouldn't you rather just have May, who's dealing, pitching well, go against Choi, excuse me, go against Choi, and no, you go for Gonzalez to go against the guy who's hitting 400 in the postseason. Makes no sense. And then you get a guy on base, first guy he walks, so you got 2 on, 1 out. I mean, that could have, with Arezareno coming up. I mean, I was like, are you kidding me? I also thought he yanked Kershaw early. Kershaw had 82 pitches, and he did struggle early. But after they had that first and third with no outs, and he got out of it, he really settled in nicely, I thought, Kershaw. He really settled in nicely. And so that was another one I was really confused about. Now, Captain, did you see last night? I wanted to see if you saw it. Did you watch the game last night? I know you were doing your show for part of it.
Which game?
The Rays game.
Oh, the Rays. Yeah, I was.
Did you see the third base where the guy I thought he was tug out. He looked like he went off the base for a point, and he held the tag on him. When it was first and third, no outs, the Rays.
Right. And he stole third. I saw it originally, and then I said, okay, well, he's got it. Then when they show the replay, he was off the base, and the guy had the tag, so he would have been out. Then again, I also thought Margot stole home because, and I didn't see
that was so close. It was very close. His hand could have went. It was close. Both of them were tough, close calls. But man, that's the stuff that's I
would have rather had the stolen base at home, obviously.
Well, right, but obviously if he was at a third, he wouldn't have been there. So it's really either one would have. But I honestly thought they were going to overturn it because it looked to me he was off the base and his hand wasn't on. So they didn't overturn it because I think they didn't have definitive, that his hand wasn't on the base, although I thought you could clearly see. Now,
and getting back to the stolen base at home, though, again, I was doing my show, so I had the volume down, and I'm looking at it while it's going on as well, and I'm like, dude, he's still home. He's still home. And it was like, there was no replay. There was no conjecture. There was no, I mean, that was
close.
It was
it was really close.
I mean, I don't know if Cash had already used his, red flags, for lack of a better term, or protests, recalls, whatever the hell you call them in baseball. But that should have been a play that was looked at a little bit beyond now they go to commercial. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
From the one I saw, the first one I saw, I said, holy shit, he's safe. Yeah. Because the first angle, he looked safe. The other one, I think he got him just before, but it definitely would be something in that important of a game where it would have been the tying run that should have been looked at, no doubt. You should have looked further at it. Now, Captain, if it's all good, like I said,
wait a second. What am I, invisible?
Oh, yeah. I didn't think you cared about the World Series anymore. I didn't think you cared about the World Series anymore.
I don't, but I'm going to throw my 2 cents in. Thank you.
All right. Oh, I didn't know you were watching it. Good.
Okay. Half asleep on the couch. I did watch it. Okay. But I'm going to throw a little conspiracy theory in. I really honestly think
I want to hear that.
You bobble the ball and make that stupid throw home. They come back to win. The play at the plate, like you said, Captain, it's, baseball's revenue's down. They need it to go 7 games. So it's going to force 7 games. So take all your money, bet on the Rays for game 6. But, and that's the way it is. I think they let the Dodgers win it because, they're owed. And that's what happens.
Okay.
I mean, if you're talking about throwing a World Series with baseball and the umpires,
No, I'm talking about baseball itself needs the revenue and wants 7 games.
But in order to do that, you have to have both teams and the umpiring crew.
Yeah, they're all in on it. Absolutely, they're all in.
That's pretty hard, Coach. That's
Wow.
pretty hard.
I
Yeah.
think, all right.
Now, do you care if I go to
Go ahead.
show?
Go ahead.
Yeah,
I know you've been
Captain,
chomping at the bit.
we all heard your rant on Thursday, Captain. And I'll just be honest, I heard you. And look, I understand. You hear stuff like that. You get, I know it was a big game for you. Sunday night, you had plans. So you get, I get it. I get the being pissed off. But I heard it.
Wait a second. If you're going to go there, I wasn't pissed off about losing the primetime game.
No,
I
just
was
everything.
pissed off about pushing it forward.
Right, correct. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I want to, and well, look, I watched the whole thing. All right, and I jotted some notes down because you went through a couple of things, and you said about basically, why were the other teams accommodated and the Raiders weren't? Obviously, and you stated this in your thing. The Raiders were the only team of all of them though that had been through their bye, obviously. So right there is one of the things that plays in. You know what I mean? Now the Titans had 8 players test positive. So I think you'd agree their situation was different. And 3 practice squad players too, just because it was an outbreak and not one player.
Was it a whole position group?
No, but let me just go through my thing and then you can say what you want. We'll do it like that. So the Titans was 8 players, 3 practice squad players. Okay. The Patriots situation, Cam test positive on Saturday. So it's the day before the game. So they had to push it to Monday because you didn't know all the unknowns with who was he around, who was going to test positive. So they moved that game to Monday. And then there was a Chiefs player practice squad who test positive too. So they moved that game. Now they didn't, I wouldn't even call it accommodating the Patriots. They didn't have their starting quarterback in a game we've all said they probably should have won. And if Cam played, maybe they do won. So I don't know, I'd call that accommodating the Patriots. Then the following week, Gilmore tests positive. Stephon Gilmore. So the Pats-Broncos game gets moved from Sunday to Monday. Then another Patriot test positive Sunday. They move the Broncos game to the following week. Titans-Bills from that week goes from Sunday to Tuesday because of all the Titans players that tested positive and the whole outbreak. Chiefs, so they got to move Titans-Bills from Sunday to Tuesday. Because of that, Chiefs-Bills on the Thursday, they're playing Tuesday. Bills can't play Tuesday and Thursday. I think we all can acknowledge that. So they lose because of that a Thursday night game. Fox is playing $1.1 billion for the rights to view TV. All right? So now you go to why would they move the game up? All right? Well, like Captain said.
Can I break in while you real quick? Okay. Of all of those cases that you had, and you have multiple players,
right,
in over multiple position groups,
right,
okay, but none of them was an entire starting position group, which I think is relevant to this.
They didn't tell this positive.
But the Titans was just it was 8 players, so it wasn't a position group. All the other ones were pretty much singular. The Titans was just so many players, and there was 24 people in the organization who tested positive. 8 players, 3 practice squad guys. The Titans, it wasn't about position groups. It was just there was so many people tested positive. That. Yeah, the rest were all singular people. It wasn't position groups or anything.
But see, that's my point, though. You had an entire position group that was sent home.
Okay, but let me
start.
All right.
Started. Okay. Go ahead.
So now we go about moving the game up. So Thursday, they have 1 positive test, and it's Trent Brown. Okay. Now, what I think the NFL is looking at it was, all right, we don't have enough, as you would say for an analyst, data yet to make a decision. So they're thinking, look, the whole line's in protocol. We don't have enough data to make a decision on the game. All right. And here's the thing: the whole like you said, the whole line's in protocol. If that line comes back positive, okay, I think they know we got to postpone the game. There's no doubt about it. So they're holding on that. But what they needed to make a decision on is their premier game Sunday night. If they wait to Sunday, they got to make a decision on that. So that's why they move it up. because I know, but
that.
they got to move it up to save the Sunday night game.
Yeah.
I agree with you. It's not fair and all that, but they had to protect. NBC's paying $1 billion a year for one game a week, and it's a Sunday night game. They could not have what happened to that Thursday night game happen to a Sunday night game. So I think money, obviously, is the biggest reason to moving it up. All right. So now, so basically, and look, if they postpone the game, they move it to Monday. Brown still doesn't play, and you have, okay, right after this, Captain, you can go, and I have one more point, but I'll let you go to this part. But, you'd have had a short week, and you still would have had Brown, and not to be rude, but you probably still would have lost. I think you'd agree with that.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah. No, okay, I got it.
Now let's go. Okay. By not moving it back, okay, you screwed up. I said I have no problem with moving a game up for the billions of dollars for NBC, so you have a premier game. It's quantified. It's there. I get it. But why is it that they're the only one that they move up when if you move it one game back, which is what they've done for everybody else, you move it a day back. Also, because of that, we lost our starting safety, who was not allowed to play that Sunday night because of the protocol. And again, Trent Brown is a schmuck.
That's the biggest problem. Trent Brown. Yeah, at least you know that.
I get that. Trent Brown can bite my ass. Okay. Sorry, Coach. And again, I'm doing it, but the thing is, that's it, is that they moved it forward instead of moving it back. We lose our starting safety.
That doesn't make, you're talking about 4 hours, not moving a day, 4 hours.
Right.
You're talking about an 8 p.m. start.
But one day
safety would have been out.
One day gets that safety in the game the next day.
Okay.
And that is a vital person, not just the entire offensive line.
Okay. Do you think it would have mattered though, Captain, honestly?
Well, the way they played, no. But who's to say if maybe whatever his friggin' name. No. I'm talking about the other guy. Okay.
Brady.
If Abrams in there, okay, and he's the one that's been wrecking havoc and probably the team leader as far as attitude on that defense, they play a hell of a lot better because they played, and I said this last night on my show, they played like they were sleepwalking, like every other friggin' game that I was looking at, that they don't come out of the bye well. But the other thing is this as well. When you have the other guy play right tackle, I thought, okay, let's make sure we got that guy in there. He was gone within the first quarter, and you get a revolving door at right tackle by the name of Brandon Parker, who I have no clue why he's on the team, and that makes the line suffer as well. Okay. They played like crap, Nick. I get it. They did.
What does the right tackle have to do with the price of tea in China? Your starting right tackle didn't make it through the game. They put in it that the backup is who the backup is.
Right.
It didn't change anything, Captain. You're making an excuse. You're pulling shit out of your ass.
No. If you want to see me pull shit out of my ass, I will get up and turn around.
All right, let's go. All right, can I go on to something else, though?
Go ahead.
The ass part, Captain, was the one that, not that I just disagree with the most. Basically, I think it's you going a little bit over the top. You said that NFL sickens you, has a vendetta against the Raiders and an agenda. So you brought up they're the most penalized team in the NFL, which they have been if you go over the last 2 decades. But you're also talking about one of the worst teams. Yeah. You're talking about one of the worst teams in the NFL the last 2 decades. Okay, so that's got to factor in. Bad teams get penalties a lot. Okay, but if you look at the Gruden years, so I'm going to go over since Gruden's taking control of the team. So Gruden's first year, they're 17th in penalties, 2018. Every single team in the AFC West was higher than them. The Chiefs were number 1 in penalties. Gruden's second year, they were 3rd overall in penalties. But let's not forget, Gruden's second year, a large turnover. They had a lot of new players coming in, a lot of young players, rookies coming in Gruden's year. So I think that factored in a little bit because you're, implementing young kids into the system. This year, 23rd in penalties. Chiefs are 11th. So the last 3 years, it hasn't been added. And the last time they led the leagues in penalties, 2016, when they made the playoffs. So, I mean, I just now one thing to go and Captain Singh where he is right. They are a very traveled team. Every year they do rack up mileage. I think a little bit of Captain is logistics, like the NFC East. You look,
But it was
Eagles
a
got
home
the
game
Giants
for
right
them.
above us, Washington right below us. We do got to travel to Dallas, but no, and I think the Raiders do have a London game every year. Correct? Is that true,
Well,
Captain?
they had either had a London game or Mexico City game in
So
the days that they had to
right.
before they moved to Vegas as part of the agreement,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what they had to give up. It was part of the agreement. You give up a home game because you're technically you're looking for a home, so we're going to take a home game from you. That's just the way it is. The Garglers had to do the same thing as well. They had to move a lot of their games. The points that I was making is that it always seems, and like I said, it's not paranoia if you can really show the stats. Okay, it's not paranoia when Andy Reid gets a bye week every week before.
Yeah, but you know what? A lot of that was irrelevant until the last 2 years because the Raiders were kind of irrelevant before the last 2 years. Now you're right. The last 2 years where the Raiders have been a better team, they are the bye. Last year and this year, and 3 of the last 4. The Chiefs have paid the Raiders after a bye. No, I'm saying it's the truth.
Yeah,
but if you look at it, go Captain, when in the last 4 years have the Raiders really been relevant? The last 2.
It doesn't matter about the relevance.
When you're 5 and 4, when you're 5 and 11, playing the Chiefs after the bye.
Then why do they always have to have a bye before Raider week? If we're not relevant, then why do they need to have a bye before Raider week? Because it's relevant to Kansas City.
What do you think? You really think Roger Goodell hates the Raiders and says, to the officials, throw penalties on the Raiders?
Al Davis wasn't even alive when Goodell took over.
Davis, I looked that up. Davis died October 8th, 2011, 9 years ago.
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
Yeah, so I looked that up too to be able to say when he died. I get it, and look, I know a lot of this stems from the Tuck rule, and you're talking about probably the worst call in NFL history. And you got the Franco Harris thing, which I don't think everybody can say what they want on that. I wasn't there. There's 2 sides to every story. But look, if I was a Raiders fan, it would definitely bother me too. And then you got the Tuck rule. I get those 2 things. But I think a lot of the other things, it's kind of overreaction. I'm just being honest with you. I don't think Roger Goodell, has a thing against the Raiders. I mean, it's just I don't buy into that.
The Raiders were we're talking about 4 hours, Captain. You're making like it's like they moved it ahead, like they playing Friday instead of Sunday.
Well, why is it
it's
that
a flex schedule?
Okay, Coach, talk over me again. Okay, why is it that they don't have a frigging rule that when a West Coast team plays an East Coast team, it's not an automatic 4:00 game? And Nick is up on me with this. It's the most stupid rule.
I agree with that.
But it's for everybody. It's not like the Raiders are the only one who have to come.
I agree with that.
Take the shit out of your ears, Coach. I didn't say just for the Raiders.
Right. And then everybody knows.
It is, man. Yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah, so everybody knows too. Captain,
but I mean, teams got to go from east to west and deal with the time change as well.
Captain did inform us too. He uses Head and Shoulders dandruff with tea tree lemon and washes double wash. I did learn that from the thing too.
Thank you. Yeah, because they
your hair, I could see
it was fresh.
Yeah,
it was fresh, and my butt was fresh too, which is why I said that Goodell can
kiss
bite.
You're right.
Yeah. Okay, now, but my hair did look good, though. I will say that.
If we could get into one thing Brian Ellis said, and I think it's a great point about Fitzmagic getting traded to the Cowboys. That's because look,
that ain't happening.
But I think if I was the Cowboys, I would be on the phone because no matter what, the NFC East is up for play. For even the Giants, Coach, any team, NFC East is open for any team that wants to say, you know what, we got a shot, let's try. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if
that's been a lot of buzz since today, all day, is Fitzmagic to the Cowboys.
Yeah,
that would have been more buzz had they kept the Rosen. Okay, the fact is that the Dolphins deliberately kept Fitzpatrick on that team in order to groom and get the most out of Tua. Okay,
right.
Plus Tua is not the most, shall we say, spring fresh chicken when it comes to injuries eluding him. No, he's been injured quite a bit at the latter years of his college career. So you're going to say that if you're in Miami, that you have whoever the hell is their backup to the backup, their third string quarterback, look it up. Kind of like you have to look up who the backup to the backup is in Dallas, because, and I know you're going to go into that, the other thing with Dallas quarterbacks as well. Right. But I tell you what, look to see who the backup to the backup is in Miami. It's probably Joe Engelfarb or Bruce Grabodnik. Okay. Right. They need to have somebody, because the Dolphins are in a legitimate hype to make it to the AFC least in that division. Are you going to throw it away because Tua gets broke like a toothpick and you have nobody behind him if you trade Fitzpatrick over to the Cowboys?
No, I get your point, Captain. But if the Cowboys came and said, you know what, we'll give you a third-round pick, I think I think the Dolphins are going to take it. You got to. And just say, you know what, if
for a third and maybe a second the year afterwards, you'd have to
I think they would do it for a third, just because, you know what, they're hoping Tua. You're not going to plan for if Tua goes down. Right. And I think they're looking, it's like, look, we got a shot to win the AFC East next year, but next year's the year they're targeting where they really expect. No, I know, I agree. I said that. I said that they can. But I think they're going to say, like, look, you know, it's always nice to have a backup quarterback. But look, they have 2 draft picks. They have the Texans first round pick in this coming draft too. So the Dolphins are set up really, really nice. They have cap room, 2 first round picks.
They're going to have it's from the Texans, so it's going to be a top 5 pick.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So the Dolphins are set up pretty. So if you give them a third round, I think they take it. And if I'm the Cowboys, why not? I mean, this Dalton doesn't look great.
Oh, Dalton sucks.
Yeah, and look, one thing to say about the Cowboys, too, when your quarterback gets hit like he did yesterday and none of your linemen do a thing is a disgrace. I would have got kicked out of the game if somebody did to my quarterback what happened to Andy Dalton yesterday, and that shows you about Mike McCarthy and that team. That's not a team. That's 53 individuals. Sorry, but that gets me mad. Coach, you played line too. Yeah. You know how it is. Somebody takes a shot at your quarterback. I remember Jason Peters. Jason Peters, when somebody took a shot at him from the Redskins, he got tossed out of the game, and I was proud of him for it because, you know, that's pride for a lineman. If somebody touches your guy, that's your job. Right. I mean, they just stood there. So, you know, Eagles are bringing it to the Cowboys this week. I'm back on board.
Hey, let me tell you though, but here's what I found Thursday night. You know, Carson Wentz scored a touchdown. No one came and shook his hand. I mean,
really?
No one came up.
I didn't see that. I wouldn't buy into that. I think the guys like Carson Wentz. He's the leader of that team. I mean, everybody's just hurt. I mean, and then look to the Cowboys too. The Cowboys are horrendous. But the Cowboys are dealing with a lot of injuries, too. You can't bring it up. I mean, 2 Pro Bowl tackles. Zach Martin, one of the best guards in the league, out last week. You know, Pro Bowl center retires. So, you know, you're missing your starting quarterback. I mean, you got to factor that in. So, yeah, you're right, Brian. There is no gifts for that.
Hey, Reed Sinnott is the third-team quarterback, a rookie from San Diego.
Just for who? For the Dolphins.
For the Dolphins?
For the Dolphins, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
like they Bruce Grabodnik.
Yeah. If they get, nobody heard of him.
But right, nobody heard of him. But you're right. I don't know that you get rid of.
It's got to be something good, third or above. I think it's got to be third or above. Right, I'm not taking a fourth. I want something that if you give me a third, I'm thinking about it. At least there's
you got to look. There's some guys on some practice squads that probably are better than what you have that you could sign away. Yeah. For cheap and still get some.
Yeah. Well, and Captain's right. Tua's got the hip. I don't disagree with him. It's just I think you definitely entertain it if it's something of value. Captain's right. You know what I mean? And look, look at the Patriots right now. I mean, they're in shambles. I mean, and the Bills, not an impressive win yesterday. This thing is open for the Dolphins. The Dolphins. They got a shot. I mean, I said it earlier this week before the Patriots laid the egg yesterday. I mean, it's legitimate. It really is. I look at their schedule too. Let's not forget they have I think they were third place last year, so they have that third place schedule too. You know, so they're playing the teams that were in third place in other divisions, and you know they played a lot of their tough schedule early on. as if you remember they played Patriots, Bills. So, and I think they will beat the Patriots and Bills on the next time around. So it's going to be interesting. And Cam does look terrible. But you know what? I think now, too, because everybody said about Brady, especially that dope Max Kellerman, Brady's falling off. He's been falling off a cliff for 6 years.
Yeah.
I think now we see Brady's talents have declined. But a lot of it, I think, was Patriots receivers don't get open. They don't get any separation. And I think Edelman's kind of, pretty much done now. And I think you see it. Maybe it wasn't Brady as much. And I think that's why Brady left. I think Brady left because of his relationship with Bill, the fact that he wouldn't mind proving that, without Bill, he could win. And number 3 was the talent around him. That's why he was gone, and that's why he picked Tampa Bay. And it's looking good right now.
Absolutely. I agree. Everybody, because, they lost the first game. But I think now they got into that groove. They're in that groove. They're playing pretty well. And he's got a lot of pieces around him. He got go ahead.
No. I thought you were at the end of your thing, the coach. You finish and I'll go in.
No, I was just going to say, now he's number 2 all time in touchdown with Gronkowski, him and Gronk. 92.
Oh, right. He's number 1 all time. In touchdown passes.
Yes, but in connections, Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison are they have 114 touchdowns.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah, right. Go ahead, Captain. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say that, and actually, let me see. I kind of lost my thought. Oh, yesterday, and I'll be very honest, folks. It's like I kind of lost interest in what the hell happened in football yesterday after the game. I take that Tampa loss personally. I really do. Like I take a win against the Chiefs, I take that, personally as well, because it means something. Coach, you can just wipe that smirk off your face. I don't give a flying F. Okay. But I take it personally because it's a 4-year loss.
Yeah. Well, and it's the team you lost the Super Bowl to, and it's Brady I get that. And you live in Tampa. Yeah, I get it. I get all that.
The other thing is that the score yesterday really wasn't indicative of how tight that game was, because it took until the fourth.
What game did you watch?
I don't know what effing game you watched, Coach.
I don't know what game you watched, but Tom Brady.
It was close.
You know what? If you're going to say stuff like that, Coach, bye.
Okay.
Wow. What did I say? I agree. No, I agree with you.
I agree with you. I mean, hey. Sorry, we're not a Raiders show, firt of all, and I hate spending a minute.
No, I mean that's
half the show.
I agree with you. Look, he might. They got it closer, but the Bucs beat them yesterday. I agree with you. I mean,
that game was out of reach. I mean, I don't think that was. They got a mop up touchdown at the end, but
and they pulled away at the end. They really did.
It was 38-20 at one point.
Yeah, they won by 25.
How is that a close game?
Yeah.
Tell me.
No, I agree with you. Actually, I do. So, I mean, it was. I mean, the Raiders got it back and made it where it was a game again. But then, Bucs dusted it off. So, I mean, that was the Bucs were the better team, and they were up by double digits most of the game. They were up 2 touchdowns. Yeah. Raiders bring it back to a touchdown. They got back in the game, but the score, I would disagree with them, and unfortunately, I guess Captain doesn't like when you disagree with him. So.
Right, he can't take it, I guess. So anyway, back around the NFL, OBJ tore his ACL.
Yeah, and you know what? What's weird, Coach? When you watch that game, when OBJ, and I'm not look, we had some shots at OBJ last week. I don't want to see anybody get injured. That's not how I'd like to see.
Absolutely.
But. The Browns looked better when he got out throwing the ball. Baker was really struggling, and then he got out. And you know what that can be, Coach? When you got that guy who captain left, Michael. I guess he was upset with Coach saying about the game, and maybe it's just some build-up things. I don't know. That's captain. But no, what were we talking about? I lost my train of thought.
OBJ and how much better the Browns look.
You know how it is, Coach. I think he gets in this. Those guys. They want their targets. They want maybe he got out of the game and Baker just went out and slung it. You know what I mean?
Here's what I said, because I said this when he was with the Giants, and he got hurt. He missed the last 6 games before he wound up getting traded or whatever. And you know, the offense scored. Eli was throwing a lot more, and I think that was part of the problem. He's sitting in the huddle going, throw me the damn ball, throw me the ball, and getting in their ear and getting, so then you're in your ear and you're I got to look for OBJ constantly, and it kind of throws you off what you're trying to do.
Yeah. So. No, I would agree with you. I would agree with you. Yeah, you see, Stiz, I just said the same thing. Baker looked better without OBJ on the field. And I don't know if it's OBJ just, sitting there saying he wants his targets, and then, you're worried about making him happy.
Right.
But, dude, Baker was slinging it, man. He was throwing some the pass for at the end of the game. I mean, just a dart, man. It was, he looked good. I mean, now it is the Bengals.
I was surprised. It was like a minute and 11, no timeouts, and you were able to score that touchdown.
Yeah,
that was that was good.
And once again, too, we talked about it Sunday, Coach, with the mistake in the Penn State game. Gurley yesterday. I mean, like I told you, I got no time for situational mistakes like that. I know it's the Falcons and they're 1-6, but you lost the game because you simply couldn't take a knee and do the professional thing. And look, Gurley's done it before where he took the knee. He said his momentum was going, but you just can't make that mistake. It cost your team a game, because they wanted to go down, take the time down, and just kick the field goal, chip shot field goal, which would have been like an old school, extra point when it was from the 2 or 3 yard line. So, yeah, Stiz, I do. I think he does. Yeah, I think OBJ expects the ball. I think, and honestly, I think we've seen our last days of OBJ in a Browns uniform. I think you're going to see Baker. I just think you're going to see the offense flourish better with him out. I hate to say that, but I just think he's a problem. I really do.
I agree.
I think you'll see. Look, they have I don't know what their schedule's like, but I just think that, look, they look better with him out yesterday. I think you're going to see the Browns move on after this year. I think Landry will obviously become a bigger player for them. Maybe they try to make a trade. I bet you they wish they knew this would have happened. Maybe they take a shot at AB. I know a lot of people – I wanted to talk to Kaplan about the AB thing, but obviously I guess Coach went too far by saying this. We disagreed with him saying the score wasn't indicative of the game. But when you lose by 25 points – did they get a late touchdown? Maybe 18 points, whatever it was. Yeah. I think they're a possible playoff team, Stiz. They're just a little inconsistent. Garrett's got 9 sacks. So I think they're one of those teams they can get a berth, like the Bills last year. They'll get a berth, but then be one and done out in the early playoffs. But for the Browns, man, that's a step in the right direction. This is a team that hasn't been in the playoffs in how long, Coach? Over a decade, right?
Yeah.
I think it's like 03 or something.
No, it's
03, right? Couch.
I think no, because Belichick was last 94.
No, they were there in the wild card in like 03. I'm telling you, Coach. I remember in the early 2000s, Browns were in there.
All right.
Yeah, the Browns play the captain. Yeah, they play the Raiders, and I'll tell you, that's going to be a good game. That line came out. Browns are a 2.5 point favorite. I would have liked to have been able to tell Captain I actually liked the Raiders in that game. But, yeah. So I just – the Browns are good, but I think the Raiders are going to come back after that loss and get a win on Sunday. You looking that up, Coach?
Yeah, I'm looking it up.
Yeah, just but like I said,
2002.
2002. I knew it was 2002, 2003. Yeah. But still, it's 18 years. So them making the playoffs is a step in the right direction. Especially for
24/7 in a wild card.
Exactly. It was like Kelly Holcomb might have been there. Remember him?
Kelly Holcomb was the quarterback.
Thank you. See? Boom. Nick up here, brother.
How about that?
Yeah.
How about that?
Yep. Yeah. So I mean,
it was 2003, not
2010. Yeah. 2010. Now, let me ask you this, Coach. Watching the games yesterday, I think we all know everybody's got their Ravens, Chiefs, Right. And look, those two look good. But, man, how can't you like the Steelers and Bucks right now? I mean, to me, they're in that talk. The Steelers can play defense. I know the Titans made the comeback yesterday. But Coach, when you got that big lead, they were up 20 points in the
Take
fourth
the
quarter.
gas off a little
They
bit.
took the gas off, and then that momentum starts going the other way.
Right.
And sometimes all you can do is just hope to get away with the win because it's like the snowball going down the hill. You know what I mean?
Right.
It just
Absolutely.
builds and builds and builds, and I don't think you can keep up with it sometimes. And Ben had a couple rough turnovers, but man, that defense is good. They got a lot of receivers. Snell and Connor running the ball. The offensive line's good.
But yes, I agree, and I keep telling everybody why Sam Darnold to the Steelers next year. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. They need to find somebody who's going to be Big Ben, and if Ben's coming back, like him or Jameis unless Jameis stays with the Saints, you know what I mean? But nah, Coach, I agree. I mean,
come on, you're going to be able to get,
and they're young. The Steelers are young. Everybody but Ben's young.
Right, that's what I mean. You're going to get a top 10 quarterback or what was he drafted in third overall?
Yeah. Right.
For like a third round pick. I mean, come on now. Why not?
No, and I tell you this too.
Play with Schuster at USC, wasn't he? With Juju Schuster at.
I don't know if they played together, but yeah. So, Captain just put up a long thing. I think showing all the. I mean, Captain. Look, I understand. I mean, we can agree to disagree, but I don't understand why you went off. I mean. Look, I agree with Coach. I don't think the score wasn't there. I mean, the Bucs were up 2 scores, Captain. Most of the game. The game did get closer when they brought the 7, but I think the Bucs did open. Have it. Who is ignorant to facts? Captain, you have your facts. We have ours. I mean,
the facts are the facts. You're right.
Ignorant to facts. I mean,
I guess you need to look at the facts.
Yeah. Look at the score. Look at the final score. Close. Yeah. What was the final score, Captain? Put that up.
Yeah. Put up the final score. What was that? Okay, that's a fact. But
yeah.
So
that's disappointing. I mean, it is what it is. Brian, that's a good question. I think with his resurgence. No way. Not with the year he's had. And I think Jordan. Yeah,
I think his contract's up after this year.
No, I don't think so. But he's having such a great year. Why would you move off him? And Jordan Love was more of a, he's a project type quarterback. So, and the final score was 45-20. Yeah, I guess. I mean, that's 25 points. That's a lot of points. That's what I thought it was. I think Rodgers at the minimum 2, at the most 3. I think he will get the Favre treatment. I think, eventually they're going to move on. Unless, what they may do too, maybe try to showcase Jordan Love a little bit.
Right.
But I don't know that you're going to get a 1 back for him. So
no, I don't think you are either. But you traded up to get him too.
Yeah.
You gave away capital to get him. So you're in a pretty predicament pickle now,
Right.
But you know what? You could trade Rodgers you probably could get a 1 for Rodgers.
Right.
I mean, why not? I mean, you don't draft a guy in the first round for him to sit on the bench anyway.
Yeah.
Just not inducive. So, we'll have to see how that goes. But I don't expect Rodgers to be around very long.
And I'll tell you now too, I may do it on both teams. You can get the Bucs at 8-1 and the Steelers at 9-1 to win it all. That's great value because look, if these teams continue on what they are, and I know a lot of people don't like AB, but he's still a talented guy, and he might make that offense even better. I mean, you see how fast that defense is, Coach.
Right.
The Bucs look good, man. Steelers look good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm thinking about putting money on. The teams are close. It's one of those years, man. I don't see much difference between the Chiefs, the Ravens, and look, the Ravens just got Ndakwe from the Vikings. The guy who was the Jags pass rusher.
Right.
I think he's got 5 or 6 sacks. I don't trust Lamar Jackson when he has to throw the ball. When you know they're not going to run, I just don't trust it. I mean, I love the Ravens team. I think they're a team built to win 11, 12 games every year, but I think there's a ceiling. That's the problem.
Until you prove to me when there's 9 guys in the box and you have to throw, throw the football and prove it to me, because so far he hasn't been able to do that.
Yeah, Angela, you did miss it.
You missed it.
And unfortunately, Captain left.
Yeah.
And it wasn't heated or anything. Nobody was yelling. Captain had said that the score wasn't indicative of the game, and Coach first disagreed, and then Captain didn't agree with it and left. So, unfortunately, he pulled the I don't know.
One more time. He didn't even give us one more time.
Yeah, Brian, they're talking about Dez joining them. But if I was the Ravens, I know people don't like him, but man, a guy like AB on the Ravens, if he can stay focused, that's one thing I'd like to see Lamar with as a number one receiver.
That could happen. That could happen.
Yeah. Yeah, Stiz, right. Fournette did touch the ball yesterday.
A lot.
But look, you know what, Stiz? They both look good. And give some credit, too. That Tampa Bay line looks good. Coach, I'd be upset if I were you. That Wirfs kid looks better than Andrew Thomas.
Absolutely.
And he was picked 7 picks later, Coach.
Yep.
Once again, thank you, Dave Gettleman, if you're a Giants fan.
That's right. Absolutely. Yeah. He is, the kid's looking horrible, just unbelievable. So, but I just don't get me started with the Giants. We've had enough with the Raiders.
Yeah. So, the Giants need a fresh start. Just like the Jets, not a coach, but I think just up above the coach.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think the Jets just need a complete slate cleaned. Their 0-7 look terrible. And I think Darnold, you're going to see a new man once he can get out of that New York media.
Yeah.
I mean, that poor kid's got nothing around him. I mean, they couldn't do anything against the Bills. I feel bad for him. And you go see an organization like Pittsburgh where they put teams around you. They have a support system. Mm-hmm. You'll see Sam Darnold get confidence, flourish. Look, Coach, I think that or Indy. If I'm him, it's Indy or Pittsburgh. I agree with you. I would prefer Pittsburgh. But either one, I think Pittsburgh has more tools for the quarterback in regards to outside with the wide receiver weapons in Claypool, Juju Smith-Schuster, Stiz's boy Johnson. Stiz is it last name Johnson, Deontay Johnson, something like that. You got the running game, the line. So you got just everything's there for you. Now the Colts, good line, but not in love with the weapons at wide receiver.
Right. It was. But look, if you can get a quarterback again for a 3rd round pick, and then take your first 2 picks and put receivers around them, you're instantly, move up the chart,
Right. Yeah, and the Jets-Bills game was crap yesterday. The Bills can only get 6 field goals. I mean,
yeah, unbelievable.
Unbelievable how good they looked after 4 games, and now you watch them and you're just the last 3. It's just like I don't know what happened. I mean, I knew their defense was troubling, but the decline of Josh Allen over the last 3 games is mind-boggling to me. He was on MVP type level. Michael Johnson can start filling in.
Sure, Mike, we'll get you in. We'll get you on, man.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, but man, it's going to be interesting. A lot of great games yesterday. I'm just so happy we got football. And that's one thing, me and Captain were kind of going into it, not bad, but debating about the Corona thing and all. And you know what? You're going to have to deal with things like that to get this season to play. Right. Like I said, that he thought everybody else got accommodated. The Patriots played a game without their quarterback. Trent Brown's been out most of the year, and Trent Brown did it to himself. I mean, This is a guy who he's getting paid $12 million this year, and the guy took his contact tracing thing off. I guess, I don't know if it was to go out or just wasn't wearing it, but they're supposed to wear it so they know who you go around on the team, I believe, and all. And He took it off. So, look, man, you're paying these guys. All I know is if somebody was paying me millions of dollars and I was a part of $1 billion multi-billion-dollar industry, I could just stay in my house for 3 months. And if you need a lineman, give me a call. I'll do whatever I can. And if somebody hurts my quarterback, I'll go after him too.
There you go.
So,
there you go.
Yeah, he should be, Angelo. I agree with you on that. I mean, just a disappointment. And with the money they're paying him, man, look, I think the Khalil Mack trade was ultimately good for the team, but you see that money going to him, you almost say, man, I'd take Khalil Mack at $100 million over Trent Brown at $66 million. Now, obviously you did the trade and those players are on, but I'm just saying financially. Yeah, I mean, look, he was a backup in New England. Their tackle gets hurt, and he has a really good year. And that's the problem with free agency, Angela. These guys have one good year or show promise.
How many quarterbacks came out of New England and got big money?
And they backed the Brinks truck up to him. And, I mean, you see this for quarterbacks, too. Look at the Eagles. A.J. Feely, Kevin Cobb, off a couple games. And you get these deals, and you're just like, what? I mean, the Eagles got a second-round pick for A.J. Feely. It's like, A.J. Feely, he played 2 games. He stunk. That was terrible. I mean, but look at the guy from the Seahawks, Flynn. He had the one good game in the last game of the year. They gave him a contract, but they drafted Russell Wilson, who, I mean, did you watch that game last night? Did you see that guy run him down?
Yeah.
Metcalf? Did you see where the guy intercepted and Metcalf ran him down?
No.
Look it up, Coach. This guy, 6'5", 215, little corner. It's not BB running that fat, like me running down Leon Lett. This dude was a beast, real fast corner. Dude, the strides Metcalf was taking was unbelievable. I mean, he hawked him down 10 yards from behind him, tackles him because it was an interception in their end zone. He runs 90-some yards, tackles him at the 8. The Cardinals go for it in 4th and get nothing. So his tackle saved the touchdown. Yeah, Brian, don't even talk to me about that. Every time I watch Metcalf play, I want to punch Howie Roseman. I mean, it's killing me. Because you know why? Before, it used to be Joe Douglas say, hey, you nerd, take this guy. We don't have that no more. Right. So we got J.J. Arcadia-Whiteside, who has as many catches as me and Coach, which I'll keep saying. Maybe he's got a catch or two, but the guy stinks. His cone drill numbers are as good as mine. He's slow. He stinks. I mean.
Hey, wasn't he working at Wawa last year to start the year?
He should have been. Hey, look, that's what I'm saying. Travis, I like to call him Fulgham style, like Gangnam style. My boy Travis Fulgham, undrafted, and then we get Arcadia-Whiteside, who stinks. And Fulgham, I like Fulgham. I think I like Greg Ward, too. I
thought Greg Ward could be serviceable.
He's a poor man's Jason Avant. Get you some third downs, conversions. He's not going to get you a 40-yard touchdown, but he's got good hands and he'll make some catch. Coach got a better 5-and-out route. Yeah, he does. Coach, do you know why, Stiz? Because I can't make the 5. Mine's like 2.5 and out. The 5, I'll be out of breath with the oxygen on. 5's a little too deep for me.
Right.
About 3 steps. You know what I mean? Give me 3 steps. But no, I mean, I thought it was a great day yesterday of football, man. I mean, good for me because, I won some games. Seahawks game got me crazed last night. The Seahawks got burned last night. I mean, they had some big – Coach, you probably didn't see the game. But so I'll set the scene for you. Seahawks are up 10, 4th quarter. I think a little over 10 minutes left. Seahawks up 10. They're scoring. Russell Wilson's doing his thing. Yeah, 5-yard fly route. There you go. He had the 3-yard what do they call that one? The one they throw up, the fade, the 3-yard fade. But no, so Seahawks up 10, 10 minutes to go. Cardinals are on their own 20, 3rd and 5. The tight end's coming across the middle. He throws in the ball. The linebacker couldn't see if he caught it, so he came and hit him in the back. No helmet to helmet or anything. They called a personal foul on him. Horrible call. And, it would have been 4th down. Gives them a 1st down. Then, they're down 10. Look, you're punting the Russell Wilson then down 10. You know what I mean? Right. I think the Seahawks close that out. Then they're up 10 points. They're going to kick a field goal. And the Seahawks guy, that thing where you leap over the player?
Right.
He did that, got a personal foul, so they took the field goal off, got a touchdown. Then in overtime, Metcalf gets a touchdown. They call holding, and it was a hold. But with the other calls they missed, there was also a helmet-to-helmet. where the guy hit with the crown of his helmet against the Seahawks. They didn't call. Man, if I was Seahawks, should have won last night, and it is partially because I had money on them. I'm not gonna lie, but you look, trust me. Anybody that was watching that game with me would have been. My brother was watching it. It was bad. So,
all right,
what are you gonna do? And tonight's game, Rams. The line's indicative. I mean, I don't think they're that much better than the Bears. I think it's a spot game. Bears, beat the Bucs 2 weeks ago, and you look at that game, you're like, how did that happen now? Bears are 5-1. I think they're a fraudulent 5-1. Like the defense, don't like the offense. Love Nick Foles, but don't think he has the proper weapons. I think the Rams come out and win it by, I'm going to say, 10 points tonight.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. All right. Thanks, everyone. We appreciate you checking us out. Make sure you head over to YouTube, subscribe, ring the bell, like us on Facebook and Instagram, all that social media stuff. And you want to check us out with the podcast, Apple, Spotify, Google, all those, Anchor. Just download it. Check us out.
And Stiz, the Chiefs are a 19.5-point favorite against the Jets. I would lay the 19.5 before I would take it. Wouldn't you, Coach?
Yeah.
I would lay the 19.5, and I already bet the Chiefs in a tease at 6.5 in a special teaser. So I'm a degenerate, Coach.
All right. Thanks, everyone. We appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow.
Go Dodgers.